Hey y'all, it's Rick here with Uncommon Communion coming at you on a Saturday morning. And I know I missed a recording for yesterday. I missed a recording for getting it to you early today on Saturday. But here I am recording two Psalms today. And I very much appreciate you for hanging in for especially the last few weeks where things have been pretty busy and kind of sporadic in my schedule. I really appreciate your just, like I said, sticking with me. Keep watching, keep listening, keep reading. I do want to get back to writing more. I feel like that's my strength and what I love to do. This is just quicker doing it this way. So, again, I appreciate you. So, as I mentioned, we're going to talk about two Psalms today. I want to kind of just get you a little updated on some of the things that caught my attention, two crazy bonkers things in the regime. And then we'll get on our way here. I got my second job to go to, my winery job. And I know you all have things to do today as well. So, let's begin, though, by grounding ourselves, centering ourselves in the reality and the truth that is of ultimate importance. Let us remember we are always and everywhere in the holy presence of the more and each other. So, yeah, y'all, I really wanted to record last night, Friday night, especially because I didn't record anything for Friday. I did something that I don't usually do, which is just veg out in front of YouTube. Yeah, I was sitting on the couch. It was such a busy week last week. I think I shared that with you, and um, just kind of didn't feel like doing anything else, and went down the rabbit hole of the YouTube algorithm. And it's kind of funny. I'll share with you kind of the three places that I went, and just to get you a little sense of what are my interests besides planetary pilgrims on the way of Christ and politics, because what my algorithm was leading me to and the videos I was watching had really nothing to do with either of those three things. But they're all things that I enjoy and things that I like. The first one was um, uh, airports. I'm a big fan of watching planes land and take off. I've always been fascinated by that, and it is pretty cool to be able to do that on 24/7 for the most part. And I was watching Las Vegas last night. That was pretty cool at night with the lights and so forth. Second thing, kind of related to that, was a point of view, first person for roller coasters. I used to ride those when I was younger and my body could take it better. Now I am definitely not in a place where my body could take that. But the nice thing about watching those mega coasters, and man, I was watching some bangers, is that your body doesn't get knocked around, and you get to see kind of at least a simulation kind of what it feels like. But that was very very enjoyable. And then the third one, and I'll be honest with you, the creepiest one is, have you come across any of those videos? And I know they're AI made, and I don't even have any idea how they're made, but where you see stars from a movie or something a number of years ago, and they show their younger self and then their current, or in some cases, what they looked like before they passed away, and they put them together. I did one of those. I've been watching those, and for some of my favorite films from the 80s that are 40 years old now in some cases, and I kind of fell down that rabbit hole last night. And the Breakfast Club is coming up, almost 40 years. 87 was when that came out, and I was the actual age of those individuals, at least the ones who were in their teens. Emilio Estevez and Judd Nelson were a little bit older, but it was just really cool to see, Anthony Michael Hall and Molly Ringwald, people that were very much my peers in, the movies that I was watching, to see how they've aged. And aging is a fascinating thing, y'all, just to see how people change, but they don't change so much, you know. And anyway, I was down that rabbit hole last night, and just curious to know what your rabbit holes on YouTube are, because there are some really amazing things there. All right, y'all, two bonkers pieces of the regime, and both of these are cabinet members. As the Mad King gets madder and crazier, it seems like his cabinet members are trying to keep up with him, right? Defend what he's doing, but also trying to out bonkers the Mad King, right? And did you see this yesterday, Pete Kegseth? Man, he is just so. I mean, we're getting to the place where these people are. You can't even have words for them. Things that RFK is doing, and here's Kegseth. He was trying to do a prayer meeting, some kind of prayer, which for the Secretary of Defense doing prayers and press conferences is a problem in and of itself, right? But did you see this? He was trying to quote one of the something in Ezekiel about God's vengeance and so forth. And turns out what he actually quoted, probably what he pulled off of AI, because he clearly does not know the Bible as well as he thinks he does, was actually a pivotal speech or moment in Pulp Fiction, right? And I don't know Pulp Fiction super well. I've actually only seen it once, believe it or not. But apparently Samuel L. Jackson's character says this before he kills someone. And it is pretty much what Pete Kegseth said, enough that the internet was able to pick up on that. So, yeah, lots of, crazy bonkers religion this week. And then just insanity. Did you see this? The Atlantic yesterday broke a story. And just a plug for the Atlantic, y'all. I personally think their journalism, their integrity, their history, I mean, they're like 150 years old or something crazy like that, um, is really worth supporting. Now, their subscription is more expensive, to be honest, than others that you're going to find out there. But just their reporting and their insights, and then the print magazine or the digital magazine is very, very solid. Anyway, they're reporting that Kash Patel, big surprise, is having drinking problems. Like, his colleagues are seriously concerned about his drinking. And apparently he's gotten to be paranoid and is kind of disappearing from his work. So, yeah, that's going on. Director of FBI. But again, who's surprised? I mean, he was a conspiracy guy who, has no qualification, no reason for being there. And, here we are. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Clearly the dictator has already started cleaning house. Two of his cabinet picks are gone. And, I can tell you three more, actually four or five more that should be out the door. And we'll see. We shall see. All right, y'all. Psalms. I got two Psalms to catch up on. And the first one is Psalm 107. We're entering book 5 of the Psalms. Again, there's 150 Psalms. And I'm not exactly sure. I probably should have Googled this, but not exactly sure why we have these books in here. But here we are. So Psalm 107, I'm not going to read from. It's pretty long. Psalm 108 is a little bit shorter. What I have been noticing in this kind of section of Psalms that we've been going through is the first verses. I talked about the first verse last time, and many of the first verses, the opening, the thesis, if you will, of the Psalm, in many cases is praising God. Give thanks to God, for he is good, right? And his mercy endures forever, which is one of the 106, which we came across. Slightly different, of course, in this translation. But I want to read the opening of 107 and then the opening of 108, just so, again, we can hear this praise in the language and the culture and the worldview of the indigenous people, right? So 107.1 is give thanks to grandfather, for he is good. His love, which remains faithful and true, lasts beyond the end of all days. And I also like the second verse. I'll read that as well. Let all who have been set free by grandfather tell the story of how he sent his chosen people free from the hands of their enemies. In all of Scripture, there is this incredible meta narrative, if you will, overarching story of freedom, right? The Exodus, of course, is the sort of the key place, the most powerful, metaphorically, historically, and so forth. But we see this all the way throughout. So this idea that God frees, God liberates, right? And then 108, I like this one here. And again, I'll read the first two verses. O great spirit, my heart beats firm. I will sing. I will sing songs of your shining greatness. Wake up, drum and rattle. Together we will tell the sun it is time to rise. And I like this. Not very often in this translation do they put like a footnote. Some Bibles have a lot of footnotes and cross-referencing and so forth, but just occasionally they will do this. And on that one right there, in case you might be unfamiliar with the other more traditional, more common translations and how that is translated, right? You might read this and say drum and rattle. Like, did the people of this time, the psalmists, did they have drums and rattles? I'm sure they had drums. Whether they had rattles, I don't know. But helpfully, the footnote says harp and lyre, right? So that's two stringed instruments, of course, that they did have during that time period. But I love this idea of wake up, drum and rattle. Together, we will tell the sun it is time to rise. And if you know anything about indigenous spirituality, sunrise is a really important time, right? I know the Diné people, the Navajo people, the best. I've spent a very short but rich, fulfilling, life-changing, quite honestly, time with the Navajo people a number of years ago. And I know that the sunrise ritual and the rituals of the sun, I had the blessing of being out in Indian country in the Southwest right at the summer solstice, and that was really powerful to see the sun rituals and to experience the daylight and the praise that these peoples, these traditions and tribes and cultures are so very, very connected to. So, again, y'all, I appreciate your continuing to be here. I will see if I can write for tomorrow. It is the third Sunday of Easter. And again, the Easter Gospels are all very, very special and important as we celebrate the resurrected Christ. And I hope I can reflect on that with you, whether it's in words or in writing, to be able to do that with you. So let's end as we always do. I prayed this a couple times already today with my sponsee and with my 12-step group. We'll say, God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Thy will, not yours, O God, be done. All right, y'all. As always, blessing and good. Be bold, be well, hold fast, y'all.